Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC Football Podcast. My name's Joey Weaver. He's Mike McDaniel. Mike, week 2 in the books. How you doing? You ready to recap some games?
Glad it's in the books. Glad it's done. Flush it, move on.
I think, you might be willing to go back and try it one more time, get a slightly better result, but, who knows?
It's like my golf game, You just have a bad hole, flush it, move on.
Yeah, speaking of our golf games, I don't know how much sunscreen you wore on the golf course today, but it couldn't possibly be less than I did. So, that's going well, I think.
Yeah, well, roast a little bit. Why don't you?
We are live, Mike, a couple minutes before 11 o'clock Eastern, youtube.com/@the ACC Football Podcast. It is Sunday evening. A lot of our recaps this season will be live Saturday evenings around midnight Eastern on youtube.com/@the ACC Football Podcast. But for this week, we pushed to Sunday evening. So thanks to the people. We got some people in the chat here joining us already. Good to see you all. Hope you all enjoyed the games this weekend. Excited to get into recapping a bunch of them here. Mike, should we start? By the way, Producer Scott in the house as well. Producer Scott, what's up? Welcome back.
What's up, everybody? Sorry I couldn't make the show last week. Came off a riveting weekend in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And I was there for my boy. I really don't think I'll ever go back to Atlantic City. It was kind of a shithole.
You had enough of Atlantic City in one weekend?
But I did enough damage to myself and the city that I don't need to go back.
It's
clear.
Yeah, fair enough. From what you remember, it was a shithole.
Yep, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that says it all. Mike, let's do a Rhoback rapid recap. As a reminder, use promo code GOACC20 at 20% to get 20% off your first order at checkout at rhoback.com. All sorts of wonderful performance apparel, leisure apparel, t-shirts, polos. They've got shorts, they've got quarter zips, they've got pullovers, they've got hoodies, all sorts of things there. Go check out the game day collection. Most of the ACC has various entries within that collection, some really cool shirts. Really great to wear if you're going to one of these games here one of these weeks. Go check them out. Rhoback.com. Once again, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. We love ours.
We do.
Rhoback rapid recap time.
Yeah, for one thing, my wife says I have a Rhoback problem. Okay, that's it.
That's it. It's better than other problems you could have.
Yeah.
Touche.
That's not one of those you can bring back from Atlantic City. So,
Well,
On that note,
moving on.
Yep, 10 minutes on the clock. Mike, do you want to drive the ship here? Or you want me to?
Oh, I'm more than happy to drive the ship.
All right, you go for it, Scott. When you're ready,
go.
Oh my God, we're gonna start here. I'm wearing black for a reason. Vanderbilt 44, Virginia Tech 20. Holy shit, Hokies!
Not good.
Parts of it were. It was 20-10 Hokies at halftime. They had 14 points off of 2 Vanderbilt first half turnovers, and then Virginia Tech was outgained 321-21 in the second half. That is a 300-yard difference, and they were outscored 34-0. Brent Pry, buddy, you are so good. See you later.
Hard to imagine Brent Pry comes back from this one. Not a good second half here. Some, I think, kind of a funny context to get into when we actually talk about this game, Mike.
Yep. All right, chronological order now. Louisville 28, James Madison 14 Friday night. Man, Louisville was in hell for a lot of this, and James Madison looks pretty good, man. Good on Louisville for getting some separation in the second half. And man, I was watching parts of this and I was like, is Louisville in trouble tonight? I think they might be.
Yeah, this is a game where if you look at this and you say, oh, what, like Louisville won by 2 touchdowns and they covered the spread and all that, like what could be wrong? Like this score does not really tell the story of how this game played out, Mike. This was messy and stressful for Louisville for a lot of it. And you just happen to end up on the right end of the spread there for the Cards.
Speaking of messy for a lot of it, Clemson 27, Troy 16. This was a 16-0 game at one point. Clemson could not really get out of the gate offensively. They turned things around the second half thanks to a couple of short field turnovers, but Clemson's offense leaves a lot to be desired through 2 weeks.
Yeah, what exactly would we say Clemson is? Are they good? Are they not good? I mean, the defense seems pretty good.
Seems like it might be 2023 Clemson. We'll talk about that more in a few minutes. Number 11, Illinois 45, Duke 19. Man, this score is not really totally indicative of how this game turned out.
Yeah.
But the better team, the better team on Saturday certainly won this football game. Duke let a lot of chances slip away here.
Yeah, I mean, this was a game that it felt like Illinois won it by not shooting themselves in the foot, which can't really say the same about Duke, which 5 turnovers, a bunch of other dumb penalties. Like, this was a game of just absolute missed opportunities for the Blue Devils.
Yeah. Yep. That's Manny Diaz has to be kicking himself here on Sunday evening.
Disappointed. Yeah, for sure.
Baylor 48, number 17, SMU 45 in double overtime. One of the best games of the weekend, an absolute banger. Sawyer Robertson for Baylor was just outstanding here. And SMU's defense had a lot of issues with Baylor. Baylor's given up almost 100 points on defense through 2 weeks, and they're coached by Dave Aranda. So that's something to monitor if you want to look for something outside the ACC. We're on hot seat watch for sure. But yeah, tough one for SMU. Baylor, kind of a get right game in a way, not get right in the way that they would have liked, winning this game comfortably by a couple touchdowns or something. But yeah, certainly a huge win for Aranda. He definitely needed it.
Speaking of games with missed opportunities, similar to Duke, I mean, SMU blows a 10-point lead with less than 8 minutes to go. A lot of missed opportunities here. We'll get into it.
Arguably the best kicker in the ACC misses 2 crucial field goals.
Yeah,
at the end of regulation and overtime. So that's an absolute killer.
Can't imagine he's slept since then.
Nope. But they need him. So time to right the ship. NC State 35, Virginia 31. Who's looked good here? Defense did not. And NC State, big win for Dave Doran. It was looking dicey for the Wolfpack here.
It's a very weird game of runs with kind of involving both teams where it was pointsy and then it stalled out and then it got real pointsy again and then it stalled out again for the final quarter. A little bit confused of what to make of kind of both of these teams, but I think they're at least okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they're both at least okay.
Yeah. Both of these quarterbacks had some highs and lows during this game.
Speaking of okay, Boston College, Michigan State 42, Boston College 40 in
Another
overtime.
banger.
A couple overtimes. This was a banger, an absolute banger of a game. We ended up in the 2-point shootout, not the 2-point shootout, but having to go for 2 after touchdowns, and that ended up being the deciding factor in this one. Man, it was a great late night watch when I was working SI. I'll tell you that. A great late night watch. Dylan Lonergan for Boston College. He played. He looked healthy. He was really good. And yeah, this is just a tough one for Boston College to take. I think I don't want to say they had this one in the bag by any means. It was very back and forth the entire game, but this is one they could have easily come out on the other side on. So tough loss on the road, but they should be feeling pretty happy about things, I think, overall.
On several levels, Boston College probably could have and should have won this game. And kind of tough to accept the fact that you could have and didn't, but I think it's at least a good sign that they played as well as they did going on the road against a team as talented as Michigan State is. It was a good showing, so you got to find a way to build off of it and not hopefully lose this game twice and lose again next week.
Correct. One more game of consequence before we breeze through the others. Syracuse 27, UConn 20. Again, in overtime. Fran Brown had his team running wind sprints after this, so that tells you all you need to know about how this game went.
Yeah, I remember what it was like playing football in 5th grade too, Mike.
Performative bullshit is what that was.
I believe that's exactly the words I saw Cam tweet about it.
Yes, that was. That was lifted, copy and paste. That was right on the money.
Yeah. That was a game, by the way, Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken, they never led in this game till overtime. They were trailing, chasing this game basically the whole time.
Scored late to tie it up.
They scored late. Oh, they did take a lead with less than a minute to go, and then UConn kicks a field goal at the gun basically to tie it and send it to overtime. So, excuse me, I missed on that.
That's okay. Miami 45, Bethune-Cookman 3, Florida State 77, East Texas A&M 3. That is tied for the largest win in school history for Florida State. Pitt 45, Central Michigan 17. Georgia Tech kicked the piss out of Gardner-Webb. Wake Forest 42, Western Carolina 10. Cal 35, Texas Southern 3. Bill Belichick's on the board with a 20-3 win. Carolina's offense still leaving something to be desired, but an overall much better showing in week 2 than in week 1 on a short week. So that's good at least. BYU 27, Stanford 3. Team total unders for Stanford. Principal bet the rest of the way, man. That 12.5 came home. That under 12.5 came home easily.
Never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
Speaking of offenses that leave something to be desired, my Lord, Stanford.
Awful.
Not a pretty situation there.
As long as Cole Branson is is the starting quarterback for Stanford, we are betting the team total unders.
Yeah, we are. Yep, until the wheels come off of that one, Mike. By the way, Miami, Bethune-Cookman, Florida State, East Texas A&M. I watched every single play of those games and look forward to deep diving them for at least 20 to 25 minutes each.
Seconds, but yes.
Yeah, something like that. That's all I got. 2 minutes left. Look at you, Mike.
That's how you steer the ship, baby.
I'm taking notes over here. You're better.
Shout out Split Zone Duo, man. Shout out the Hurry Up. You've trained me well listening to that.
That's
ad
right.
nauseum.
Once again, that was the Rhoback Rapid Recap, brought to you by Rhoback.com. Use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. Appreciate it. That would help us out. It would also get some sweet gear in your hands, so go check them out.
Please do.
Mike, Scott, we good to get into a couple of these games?
Let's roll.
Can we please just get this out of the way? I just did an hour podcast on it. This would really just be good for me to get out of the way quickly. That way I can enjoy the rest of my evening.
Let's do it.
It will not take me very long. Vanderbilt 44, Virginia Tech 20. I was happy with how the Hokies played in the first half. Up 20-10, getting some stops on defense, forcing some turnovers. Offense, by and large, it wasn't fantastic, but it was fine. Fine. They had 4 scoring drives, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Stalled out in the red zone a couple times. It is what it is. This team is not very good. The second half was an embarrassment. And I just said this on my Virginia Tech podcast, which I know most of you probably listening to this don't listen to, so I'm just going to repeat myself again. For all of the ups and downs of the Brent Pry era for Virginia Tech, if you think or you say that you saw the second half coming in Blacksburg on Saturday night, you are lying. There are not going to be maybe any other results between 2 power conference opponents this year where one team outscores another 34-0 in a half, right? Ironically, probably, and I didn't mention this on my Tech podcast, ironically, there were 2 of them on Saturday, right? There was Oregon taking Oklahoma State to the woodshed and this game. You're not going to have many halves where one team is outgaining another by 300 yards or outscoring them 34-0. It just simply is not going to happen, right? It simply is not going to happen. So if you say that you saw that coming with all the new and creative ways that Brent Pry has lost games at Virginia Tech, man, I don't know what to tell you. This one was new. This one was
I'm not high on Brent Pry at the moment, but Hokies going into halftime up 20-10. I didn't think that, they're about to collapse. Watch this. I was like, we got something going here. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they did not figure it out.
Yeah. I thought at halftime they could certainly still lose, obviously, because I'm trained that way. It's ingrained in me to think this team is going to lose games like that. So, I thought that Virginia Tech could certainly lose the game at halftime being up 10. That was not going to be a surprising outcome. This was shocking. I mean, to be outgained, outscored like that, it was pathetic. I don't even really. It was almost like they just suited up an FCS team at halftime. It was embarrassing. I don't get it at all. I mean, Vanderbilt clearly found something in the running game. Okie Andrew with a great comment. Mike was born into disappointment, molded by it. That's exactly right. Basically, when I started going to school at Virginia Tech is when they started being bad at football. So, yes, that's basically what happened. My freshman year was the 2011 Sugar Bowl, and since then it's been ass. So, yep. Vanderbilt just spammed inside run. They found something in the second half. They just kept going back to the well. I don't know what it was. They kept sending a guy in motion. Virginia Tech vacated the middle of the field with a linebacker, and they just whether it was Pavia or, their running back or whoever. I mean, it was just free reign running right up the middle of Virginia Tech defense in the second half. It was horrible. Yeah. The offense wasn't much better. Vanderbilt went 11 plays, 75 yards out of halftime to cut the lead to 3. Virginia Tech, yes, they were on their own 37, but they had 4th down and like a foot, and your quarterback is 6'4" and 240 pounds. Just literally run quarterback sneak, and they punted instead. And then Vanderbilt just went down and scored. It was like, well, we all saw that coming. Yeah. It was stuff like that. This tenure's over. Like, it's over. It's really not until they fire Whit Babcock, like I've talked about on this podcast before. But you had to nail this hire, and you didn't. Pry's nice guy, but he's in way over his head. And, he hired 2 first-time coordinators when he first got to Blacksburg, and it didn't work out. And now he's got an offensive coordinator in Philip Montgomery, who I think is fine and, won't be the reason why Virginia Tech loses a bunch of games this year. It won't be because of the Philip Montgomery hire. But, you hired another defensive coordinator who is a first-time coordinator who I'm much higher on than the last guy. But last night was bad. Like, Saturday night was awful.
Yeah.
And there's no coming back from this, not because, and Joe, you texted this in group chat that we have with all of us and the Hokie Hangover guys. It's not that you lost this game. It's how you lost the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's over. It's over. What am I going to get jazzed up? Thankfully we have this ACC podcast, right, where I can do a preview and talk about a million other games or recap a million other games. My tech podcast, I basically opened it tonight by saying, who is going to listen to the ODU preview? We're going to record like an hour on that, and tens of people are going to listen to it. That's going to have like 30 people are going to listen to that.
The people are excited.
Yeah. Now, the recap pod tonight, Joey, is going to do numbers, but the preview pod, nobody's listening to that, and nobody's going to listen to a Wofford one either. So it is what it is. But anyway,
just the way that things go. The Braves are having a horrendous season, and I've listened to more Braves podcasts this year than ever before. So I just, I don't know how that goes, but
yeah,
there's a pun there in there somewhere. A couple things I'll add on here, Mike.
Yeah. Sorry,
you hit most of it here. I did want to mention. You look at the second half drive chart, and again, just the way that it changed. And if you weren't watching the game and you just saw kind of the stats and the drive chart and kind of how it all worked out, this reeks of a team that has quit. Like having a second half collapse like that is the sign of a team that's quit. Now, I'm not saying that the Hokies have quit. I don't necessarily think that they have. The body language didn't look that bad to me.
Yeah, it did.
Quit. Oh yeah, quit.
Oh, we're using. Okay, so we're getting to the keyword.
Yeah.
Then.
No, I dropped. Yeah, I dropped it. We're dropping it now. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think they quit. Yeah. I usually do not say. Listen, I usually do not say that. I think they quit last night. We'll find out in a few days. But
yeah, I was gonna say you got a long season ahead of you for a team that's quitting in the second week. But we saw how that went for Florida State last year. So, anyways, okay, Hokies on quit watch. That's not a good start to the season. A, B. The other thing I was going to bring up, I guess a little bit of this is patting myself on the back or tooting my own horn, but I also told you the story last night that I left to go pick up dinner for the wife and I, and as I was riding back, I was listening to our preview, just kind of trying to remember what we had talked about, what we had said, and obviously I like to compare notes of what did we think was going to happen versus what actually happened in the games that had already been played that day, whatever. The very last preview that I listened to before pulling in the driveway, getting back, was the game, the preview for this game. And I was just laughing because the thing that I said about this game that concerned me was the crowd situation, that this is a home game. And, usually there's a home field advantage, crowds on your side, but sometimes you get into these situations where some of these teams are in a little bit of a rocky standing and the crowd's a little bit anxious and they've kind of got expectations. You're not sure if you can meet them. And then you get to that point in the third quarter or so where you get down about 10 points and does the crowd start turning on the team? Do the boo birds come out and it turns into a bit of a toxic situation? And all I had seen really kind of while I'd been out and everything was like, oh, the Hokies are still winning this game. It's good. I get back, I hear that, I'm like, oh, that's, we'll see how it's going. And I pull it up on my phone and I watch Vandy score and go up 10. They come back from commercial and people are filing out of the stadium. The people were leaving. The crowd kind of turned on the team mid-game. I was like, wow. I didn't intend to call it exactly like that, but that's kind of exactly how it turned out.
Yeah. I mean, no one said him to stay. And quite honestly, for like Scott and I with young kids, like no one said him to go. I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, Scott's brought this up before, and this isn't a Virginia Tech podcast, so I won't harp on it too long, but like, what are we going to do? We're going to pay full price for my 3-year-old and his 1.5-year-old to go to the game, and we're going to spend hundreds of dollars that, we're going to spend $1,000 between us like that weekend and watch us lose. Like,
quit.
When we can just watch it on TV for the cost of YouTube TV.
$18.99 and sit on my couch and get as drunk as I want and not have to drive home.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And
or less.
And your toddler's at home with his toys and happy. It's just easier. But,
after my son goes to sleep, to be clear.
During the day, 10 a.m.
Who's counting?
You can drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
This is not Atlantic City.
Anything else here? I think that's all I've got here.
I just wanted to bring up one thing, Joey, if you wouldn't mind. As a Tech fan and an alum, I think I texted Mike at the beginning of the fourth quarter. There was a stat that they showed on TV. Clark Lee, 16-0 leading at when leading at the beginning of the fourth quarter in his tenure. Brett Pry, 1-15 when trailing at the beginning of the fourth quarter. At that point, they were only down by 3 points. They lost by 24 points.
It got worse. This feels like I can tell where it's going. Virginia Tech in a weird place right now. I mean, some of the off-season content coming from Whit Babcock asking for more money, more investment, like
shake that
but
can, baby.
It definitely feels like a situation like he's about to be gone if Pry is gone.
He's cooked.
He will not get to fire Pry and hire a third coach. So, not good. Not good for the Hokies.
First athletic director hire, by the way, for Tim Sands. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Vandy 44, Virginia Tech 20.
All right, glad that's over. Clemson 27, Troy 16. This is a fun one.
Uh-huh.
So I laid him with Clemson minus 32.5. I will not be doing that again this season.
Talked me into it too.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Joey picked Troy on the preview, and then I made a lot of what I thought were good points about Clemson's defensive line and how I thought Troy was going to be really in for it. And Clemson's star defensive linemen like Peter Woods were totally MIA in the first half, and then they were much better in the second half. Mm-hmm. But it was a very sleepy start for both the offense and the defense. Clemson's offense. So, Joey, I thought of something when I was watching this game yesterday. You remember when Dabo made that comment last year before Clemson's offense really started humming in the second half of the year? It was the second year of Garrett Riley, and Dabo made a comment about, Garrett Riley's starting to get his feet underneath him, and it's been good. He's running a mix of his stuff and our stuff, and it's And you and I said, why don't you just let him run his stuff? You remember when we said that? We talked about that. We're like, the Clemson stuff before Garrett Riley arrived hasn't really worked since Tony Elliott and or Jeff Scott left. Can we do like more of maybe Garrett Riley stuff that helped get TCU to a national title game? Maybe we do that.
Yeah, you didn't need to go hire the hottest OC on the market to come in and run your stuff.
Right.
Let him run his.
Right. You could just, kept what you had before and done it for a lot cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
That kind of came back up in my mind yesterday because this felt a lot like year one of Garrett Riley. And remember when everybody was trying to, I tweeted this, remember when everybody was trying to rank LSU number one in the country after beating Clemson in week one. And everybody's like, why would you do that? Ohio State just beat Texas, just rank them and it's early in the year. Rankings don't really matter. But the general reaction from people who know what they're talking about is why would you do that? Stop overthinking things. This is why, because then Clemson goes up against Troy at home in kind of a letdown look ahead spot, which we did not hit on as much as we probably should have in the preview in hindsight. But it was a letdown look ahead spot. You lost a tough game at home to LSU. You got Georgia Tech in Atlanta in week 3. And now you're facing Troy as a nearly 5 touchdown favorite. You're down 16-0. You can't get anything going on offense. I will say there was never a point in this game where I was like, Clemson's going to lose. But when it was like not looking very good at halftime, it was like 16-3. Like Clemson started to have momentum towards the end of the half and then really could only muster a field goal. I was like, man, this is going to be kind of a bar fight situation unless Clemson turns out in the second half. And of course, defense got better. But Joey, you brought this up in the rapid reaction there, like with the Rhoback rapid recap. Where are we at with Clemson? This feels like 23 Clemson with Garrett Riley offensively through 2 games, small sample size so far.
Yeah.
1 came against LSU's defense. Maybe this was just a blip on the radar. You went up against a really good defense week 1. This was a blip. Again, Antonio Williams did not play, right? So we talked about that in the preview. He did not play, which is not a surprise. I would expect to see him out there against Georgia Tech. Where are we at here?
So a couple thoughts here. Number one, I mean, I think Clemson was one of at least a couple of ACC teams this week that had significantly lesser performances, I guess, than they had in week 1 relative to who they were playing and everything, to where I would start wondering about, did LSU beat Clemson twice? Or did Clemson come off this big, week 1 absolute scene of a game, college, I guess they didn't have college game day, but they had the 7:30 ABC, the national spotlight, lose, and now turn around and, okay, we got Troy, and, almost kind of let it beat them twice, that kind of thing. Like, was there some of that where they didn't take this game as seriously as they could have? Maybe. Is there an element of, well, it's still early, we're, give it till November and they'll absolutely have it humming? Maybe. But I don't know. I keep going back to the thing that I said before about Cade Klubnik is I feel like we saw 5-star quarterback goes to Clemson and everybody wants to wish cast this thing into he's the next Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's that, Mike. I don't know that he ever was. And it's like we got to stop expecting that he's going to turn into that. This is year 3. He started like 28 games or something like that. Like he's not going to,
this is it.
He's taking a leap at this point. Yeah. I mean,
this
is what he is.
This is it. He's a senior. I mean, this is it. It's over. This is it after this year.
And he's not bad, but he's just not like incredible. Like he's not a Heisman contender. He's, I don't think he's going to win player of the year in the ACC. Somebody write that down and we'll come back to that here in 3 months.
We all predicted him. Well, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
I think you said Kevin Jennings maybe on the season. It doesn't matter. On the season preview. Yeah.
Whatever.
I did say Cade. I'm not feeling great about it. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, this offense is just like stuck in neutral and has been for the first 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, big one against the Jackets, which we'll get into on the preview this week.
Yeah.
And we'll really find out what Clemson is. I do agree with you in general, though, with your Klubnik point where, it is what it is at this point. He's good. He's not excellent like Watson and Lawrence. He's better than DJU. I don't mean any disrespect here towards Klubnik, but he's not the guy that you want throwing it 45 times. It's going to the entire offense runs through him. He's not that guy. And Clemson's rushing attack, by the way, like the stats end up looking okay for Randall. He broke a couple long ones here. The rushing game through 2 weeks for Clemson has left a lot to be desired. And that's just something to monitor here because 21 for 112 and a touchdown against Troy is not great. And I think Randall's a good back, man, but it's pretty clear that he's not Phil Maffa, and Clemson's missing something here in the running game. It seems like through 2 weeks, which only puts more pressure on Klubnik, which is why I think Clemson's offense is likely a half step behind where they were at the end of last season. So
yeah. It's wild to me that Clemson, a team that recruits at the level that Clemson does not have a better answer at running back than a converted wide receiver who, and again, he did break off a couple runs. The final line looks okay, but for a lot of this game, they struggle to get anything going.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to point out, by the way, that Clemson scored 10 points in the second half on 2 drives that got them a grand total of 42 yards, all that off of turnovers from Troy. So there were some cheap points that were gotten by Clemson that kind of helped them get some margin here. Like, this game was really this was not a situation where all of a sudden the offense really started to click in the second half, because they had 2 good drives, so that was kind of it.
Short field too, like turning them over and
last thing I'll mention, by the way, I just wanted to bring this up too. Troy did get a defensive score in this game. They punted back, they had Clemson backed up on inside their own 10-yard line. And this is another thing on Cade Klubnik, right? Where he throws a pass where especially when you're that close to your own end zone, you can't be throwing into traffic and putting the ball in danger like that. And it's tipped and it's caught and there's like a scrum and Troy falls into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just another thing of like, man, you really don't want to see that from your third year starting quarterback who's trying to lead a team into a potential playoff, slight national title hopes, like all that. Like you can't have that. So I don't know. Again, maybe a thing where they just didn't take that game as seriously as they should have, but who's to say?
I thought we were done with this, though, is the entire point. Like, I thought we were done with this and back to Clemson just going to beat the brakes off of everybody that's not a top 10 team in the country. That's what I thought we were back to. We are not back there.
Doesn't seem like it yet.
Yep.
Clemson 27, Troy 16.
Baylor 48, SMU 45 in double overtime. We mentioned this was a banger. I hate to bring up the unfortunate part of this. Colin Rogers is one of the best kickers in the country. He plays for SMU. For those of you just joining us, he missed 2 really crucial field goals here. Now, to defend him a little bit, the first one at the end of regulation was like a 56-yarder, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would have won them the game. So
I think he came up short on that one. Just didn't have enough legs. So fine.
So that's tough, right? Missed one in overtime he should have made. If you're a kicker of his caliber, you expect him to make the field goal that he missed in overtime. Particularly, it was the second overtime he missed the field goal. That's tough.
Yeah.
So you can't pin it all on Rodgers here, obviously, right? Baylor scores 48 points. Final tally offensively, 601 yards of offense for Baylor. I mentioned this on the rapid recap, but Sawyer Robertson was awesome in this game for Baylor. Threw it all over the yard. SMU had no answer for Baylor defensively here in the passing game in particular. Had trouble getting home on the quarterback, clearly. But yeah, it was a fun game to watch. It was wild. I mean, it went well into the 3:30 window. I mean, I think this game ended like 4:15, 4:30. So
yeah,
I was trying to catch up on stuff that was going on in the 3:30 window. Meanwhile, Baylor and SMU is now in double overtime. Game was absolutely insane, but tough one for SMU at home.
I was really irritated, honestly, with the whole TV situation in the noon window. Like, first of all, we got 16 games, and there's like 5 important ones that are all stacked in this noon window. And then in the 3:30, there was basically nothing for the ACC. Like, that was annoying. A. B, I'm trying to watch this game on the CW. There's Virginia, NC State on ESPN2. Can't get a quad box involving both of those games for, Lord knows what reason. Then Syracuse and UConn go into overtime. I got to pull out my phone to stream that one because I can't watch that at the same time as some of these other things. Like, it was like the most clunky watching experience trying to keep up with all these games. So all that to say, if I miss something, I'm sorry. I'm trying my very best to keep up with all this stuff that's going on. But again, we had 16 games we're trying to get a sense of this weekend. So just a little bit of grace would be nice. Again, missed opportunities, I think, here from SMU. They gave up 600 yards of offense to Baylor.
Yeah.
SMU's defense was probably like sneaky better than we gave it credit for last year. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be quite that this year. They gave up a lot in this game.
Now, granted, Baylor's probably one of the best, if not the best offense on their schedule. So I grant them that. This is probably one of the best offenses they'll play. But with that being said, total agreement.
Yeah.
Total agreement with you on that.
Yeah. Again, SMU had a 14-point lead with less than 8 minutes to go and lost. It needed overtime, which is tough. But yeah, again, this is a missed opportunity. And I feel like this is the kind of game, it's kind of a close game, toss up, need things to kind of go your way. This is the kind of game that SMU won last year in a lot of cases. And this one didn't go their way.
Yep.
And, you talk about a team that went, what were they, 11-1 in the season last year? I think they were. And, they made the playoff and all that stuff. But this is where things can very easily kind of fall back a little bit, as just a couple things don't bounce quite right. They've got Missouri State on the road next week, which, okay, number one. Number two, then after that, they're at TCU. TCU might be pretty good too.
Yeah, yep.
I think a lot of our preseason predictions is that they'd split these games. Okay, well, you lost Baylor. Are you sure you're going to go into Fort Worth and win the Iron Skillet? Maybe not.
Yep.
This is one of those things where, again, I just saying, the margin here that they're playing on is not enormous, and sometimes things just bounce the wrong way. It's a weird shaped ball. You've got a bunch of 18 to 22-year-old kids. Strange things happen, and if they don't all go your way, then you might be talking about the difference between 11-1 and 8-4 or something like that. I mean, a much lesser record at the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Very fun game to watch, though.
Oh yeah, it was great. Good stuff on the CW, huh?
Yeah.
Next week, baby. USF Miami. Also,
yeah.
The CW underdogs prevail again for our boy Lee Nobody.
That's right. CW underdogs.
I saw an early line on that game, by the way.
Oh boy.
Something like South Florida catching 16.5.
Ooh.
That's what I'm seeing right here from ESPN Bet.
Have we ever locked something up in a recap show?
Trying to get it before the line moves.
First time for everything.
I mean, I handed out a team total last week. I mean,
Miami didn't cover today, for what that's worth.
They certainly did not here on the first NFL Sunday of the year. They certainly did not.
No, the Dolphins definitely didn't. But yesterday, Miami didn't cover either.
Yes. Yeah. What was the spread on that Miami Bethune-Cookman game?
57.5 when I saw it in the morning.
Just gonna
Dear God.
I saw that on the bottom line. We can just go there real quick, by the way. Baylor 48, SMU 45, and double
sure.
overtime.
Yeah, we can go here real fast. Yeah.
Miami 45, Bethune-Cookman 3. And I just want to bring up that I saw on the bottom line at one point during the day a preposterous Miami minus 55.5 pregame line. So no, they did not cover. And this was a little bit of a slower going situation for Miami. They took a little bit to get going in this game. It was check and see what it was at halftime. 28-3, I guess. They scored with less than a minute left, but I mean it was 21-3 with pretty deep into the second quarter. So yeah, it took a little bit of time, but once again, a team that probably didn't take Bethune very seriously, took a little bit of time to get motivated, but then they got there. It's fine. Just didn't cover.
Yep. I will say that it is hard to cover a 58-point spread or whatever Scott just said it was.
Yeah.
I do want to congratulate Bud Elliott on the Kent State bet that he handed out in cover 3 that got home. They were 48.5-point dogs. And
lost by 48.
They lost by 48, 62-14. So good on you, Kent State. Good on you.
Ticket cashed. Where to? We do Louisville real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm glad we snuck in that Miami recap right there. That's good.
It's important.
That's good. That's how we speed things up.
Louisville 28, James Madison 14 on Friday night.
Scott, you doing timestamps? Because I certainly am not. Okay, good, cool. Sorry.
Professional
podcast business. Yeah.
Absolute professional.
Yeah.
Louisville's defense was excellent in this game. I just want to start with that they played their tails off. I think James Madison scored, on their second possession of the game. And other than that, they scored one other time this entire game. Louisville was getting stops. They were harassing James Madison's offense. James Madison was here for it. Like they brought the fight on both sides of the field. They gave Louisville's offense all sorts of hell all night on defense. In a lot of cases, James Madison kind of looked like a better team on Friday night. They looked like they wanted it more. Louisville looked a little bit lethargic. They made a bunch of mistakes, kind of mental errors, all that. We were texting after this game, and if you look at the stats, they basically had the same number of yards on offense. Both of these teams did. It's 264 to 263 for Louisville. Of those 264 yards for Louisville,
Yep.
almost half of them came on 2 offensive snaps. Isaac Brown had a long 78-yard touchdown to really ice the game late. Chris Bell had a long, I'll say he caught like a 10-yard slant and then ran 54 yards for a total of 64 receiving yards on a long touchdown pass. Other than that, Louisville was like a little over 2 yards of play this entire game.
Yeah. Yep.
It was not pretty on offense for the Cards.
It's pretty concerning. Miller Moss is certainly on fraud watch. I told you guys coming into the year, I was not very high on Miller Moss, which is why I was not thinking that Louisville was going to be bad. I believe in Jeff Brom, and I think he's done a lot of really good stuff, and I think his teams are always well coached. And in general, I mean, I think he's got just a good thing going at Louisville, and he's been able to just bring in these transfer quarterbacks, and they've all seemed to hit. And at some point in time, as Mike Norvell found out last year, you picked the wrong one. And I'm not saying Miller Moss is going to flame out like DJ. I'm just saying that I think Miller Moss might not be Tyler Shuck. You know, it might not be Plummer. Might not,
Yep.
Name your transfer. So I'm a little concerned about Louisville's passing attack. Obviously, Isaac Brown is an outstanding running back, but everybody's going to be preparing for that. So they're going to have to figure something out in the passing game. And it is a little bit concerning to me that and James Madison is good. I want to emphasize that. They are good. They're probably going to win the Sun Belt. If they won this game, they were probably going to be in the G5, G6, whatever we're calling the group of whatever now. Right. They're probably going to be in a spot where they had kind of the early season lead to try to, obviously South Florida is that team now, trying to make the college football playoff. James Madison's very good. They are a good team. So I don't want to just shit all over Louisville here.
Yeah.
But the passing game is concerning me here. It is. And I agree with you. I thought defense was really, really good. So happy with that if you're a Louisville fan. But yeah, concerned about the passing game. Not sure Miller Moss, not sold on him being the guy to carry you as far as you need to go with the roster you have this season.
Right. Yeah, Miller Moss was definitely a point of concern here. The run game also a point of concern, by the way, because again, you take that 178-yard run away from Isaac Brown.
Yep.
And even, there were some sacks worked in here and all that, but 8 tackles for loss, but like 29 carries for, oh man, what is this, like 35 yards, something like that. Like they couldn't do anything on the ground. Duke Watson, 7 carries for 13 yards. Talk about doing nothing all night. I mean, and this was a close game the whole way. Like you should have been able to run the ball. I mean, I don't know. This feels like one where Louisville kind of escaped a little bit. Like this had potential to be a bad thing for Louisville. And I think there was a lot of frustration on the Cards sideline. I think they expected to perform better than this, but hey, a win's a win. All's well that ends well. Miller Moss still very much settling in on offense at the very least, I think I would say here.
And Brom has built up enough goodwill at Louisville that you can have a game like this where you're struggling to get out of the gates a little bit and, okay, fan base can be pissed. You won the game by 14, you covered the spread.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty, but you got there. We were talking in the preview about how this game opened at like 15.5 and it was down to 12.5 when we previewed it.
Yeah.
And you end up winning this game by 14. It's like, okay, you got there. It wasn't pretty. And we knew this was going to be a difficult game, and it was, but they found a way to win. So big one.
Last thing I'll say is I know that there were some comments made in the post game by Bob Chesney and a couple of the players for James Madison that like, they really felt like they lost the game, that they should have been better. They should have been able to win that game. And I'm not sure I have a whole lot of rebuttals for that.
Right.
I mean, they played their tails off. They looked like they wanted it a little bit more. They were a little bit more organized. They were a step faster for a lot of the night. And so, again, I think Louisville kind of fortunate to get away with the win, and especially by this margin. That was, take them where you can get them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Louisville 28, James Madison 14.
Number 11, Illinois 45, Duke 19. A game of missed opportunities for Duke. Where do we want to start here, Joey? We had a Darian Mensah interception. We had 4 lost fumbles. We had
sloppy
from Duke. And it wasn't like they weren't in this game. Really dumb. 6 penalties for 69 yards they finished with. A lot of dumb stuff too in Illinois territory as well.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like Duke wasn't moving the ball here. They outgained Illinois in this game, 438 to 419. Yes, I get some of that was garbage time when you're, trying to make up for some lost time in a deep hole. So I get that that's some of that. But yeah, again, mentioned this in the preview. Duke's running game, non-existent.
Kind of a problem.
That is now a 2-week trend. Duke couldn't run against Elon. They could not run against Illinois. That's not an indictment. Illinois got a great defense. They're very well coached by Brett Bielema. No doubt about it. Not an indictment. Just something to monitor.
Yeah.
Just something to monitor. So
I was going to say, I wasn't all that impressed by Illinois in particular. I mean,
right.
And we were talking about it at one point, like late in the first half. He's, Mike, you said, like Altmaier looks good. And I was like, when he's not being sacked, because Duke's defense was all over him. I mean, they had 4 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss in this game. I was pretty impressed with Duke's defense, for the first 2.5 quarters here before it seemed like they kind of got let down by the offense and maybe the dam broke a little bit.
Yep.
But I mean, and Dennis brings up, by the way, 5 turnovers and to be clear, again, that was an interception and 2 fumbles lost by Darian Mensah. Mm-hmm. So your quarterback, who had some some really good moments, also turned it over 3 times. Can't have that. But then I can't remember, was it Samir Hagens that had a punt that hit him in the chest on about the 10-yard line, pops right off. Illinois falls on it and gets a cheap touchdown somewhere in the first half. But then, I want to bring up what Dennis said, 5 turnovers. That doesn't include the Illinois punt, where Duke had 2 guys with the same number on the punt return team. So that's a penalty, extends a drive. Illinois goes down and scores.
Yep.
So this was just, if you're a Duke fan, or especially if you're on the Duke coaching staff, I feel like you're going to go watch the film for this game and just be sick with how many botched opportunities you had and just dumb mental errors. Like this game was very winnable, I feel like, for Duke. If they had played a little smarter and a little cleaner, this was a mess for them.
And Manny Diaz coach teams typically don't beat themselves. Didn't happen a ton at Miami, and certainly has not happened in his year plus at Duke so far. Saturday seems like an aberration in that regard. But yeah, I wouldn't say that Duke was outcoached, but they were certainly outplayed. And I thought Duke beating Duke was a big part of this because, like you mentioned, Joey, I was not overly impressed by Illinois. I didn't come out this game thinking like, oh yeah, Duke can't hang with big, mighty Illinois out of the Big Ten. Like, no way, man. Like, no way. Not how the game played out. If you're box score watching, you're like, all right, 45-19, Illinois in the Big Ten, whatever. No, that's not how this played out. Like, Duke shot themselves in the foot. If you play this game 10 times, we talked about this with the North Carolina game last week. If you play this game 10 times, Illinois is not winning 45-19 more than maybe once or twice. This was a lot of Duke miscues, and credit to Illinois taking advantage of those, right? Certainly. Don't want to disregard that piece of it. But a lot of self-inflicted stuff from Duke here.
Yep. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, again, this started to get away from Duke. I kind of focused on some of the other games that were getting totally loose and wild in this window. I didn't realize Duke didn't punt in the second half. Second half drive chart: 4 plays fumble, 7 plays
my
touchdown, 7 plays interception, 1 play fumble, 7 plays turnover on downs. Like, again, messy from Duke. A lot of drop passes. I want to mention this too, and I don't know how many Duke football fans there are that listen to this podcast, and I'm not really trying to shame anyone individually, but I will just say also, and Dennis mentions, and it sucks. The fan turnout for this game, like, this is a Duke team coming off a 9-win season, and you've got a number, like a top 15 team coming into your building, on ESPN, the whole thing. Man, that stadium wasn't half full.
I don't think it will ever change, man. Like, Mike and I went to a game the Hokies played at Duke, and we just walked into their student section. Now, this was like 8 years ago, but we just walked right in. We were like, we want to sit over there. We just walked in. Like, I don't know if it'll ever change.
Wikipedia has the stadium's capacity is right at 40,000. Attendance listed on the box score here, a little under 24,000.
Embarrassing showing.
I mean, that's tough. Like, I would have hoped for a little bit better.
Yeah. Then go head to head Wake Forest for the worst football fan base in the ACC, and I think it is Duke.
I mean,
just to fire some people up tonight.
Does Stanford not count?
I don't know if they do.
Don't do
All
this
right,
to me.
BYU 27.
I mean, let's go there.
Illinois 45, Duke 19.
BYU Stanford 3. Yep. So, Joey, a little bit of a sweat fest. A little bit of a sweat fest for you.
As somebody who locked up BYU minus 20.5, this was a little bit of a sweat, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, Stanford's defense. I think that this Stanford team might very well be a 2015 Boston College situation where that Boston College team legit had like a top 5 defense in the country and a legit like bottom 2 offense in the country. Like, for the life of them, they could not move the ball at all. But that defense, every time they went out there, they were giving the other team absolute hell. Stanford's defense knows that they are absolutely up against it from the opening kickoff, and they just keep coming. They are good. They play their tails off. They tried to keep Stanford in this game the very best that they could. I was impressed with Stanford's defense, number one. The other reason this is a sweat is that I forgot that BYU's quarterback situation right now is Bear Bachmeier, a man wearing number 47, taking snaps. That was not always a pretty situation for the Cougars, but in the end, they still got there, and we were good.
You know what wasn't a sweat? Team total under.
Team total under.
I know when that hotline bling.
Told you.
Call the hotline.
I mean, that was easy. I mean, that was, truthfully, that was one of my easiest bets of the weekend. Was never worried about it. Not even a little bit. I mean, I had it, I had on a second screen. It was 14-0 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Stanford had no offense. Like, this is barring catastrophe, like a short field turnover. And even then, with Goldbranson under center, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And not in a good way, by the way.
No.
I mean, a good
anything
way
can happen. Derogatory. Yeah.
Yes, derogatory. Good in a good way for me if you're on team total under, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Goldbranson he had a QBR, and QBR, it's kind of a throwaway stat, but it's funny in this context. A QBR of 6.7, which is really bad as far as QBR goes, which I'm
almost
not
impossibly bad.
It's just like impossibly bad. 17 of 32, 142 and 2 picks. He was really bad. And Stanford could not run the ball here. We commended Stanford. Yeah. We commended Stanford for sticking with the run against Hawaii. And we're like, if we're going to find a bright spot with the offense, is the rushing attack didn't look absolutely heinous. It was pretty bad against BYU.
Kobe Bryant Memorial Volume Shooter of the Week Award nominees: Micah Ford and Tuna Altair. I don't know, something. 18 carries for 41 yards. That is a whole lot of carries for a whole lot of nothing, basically.
Kobe.
Stanford is cheeks, Mike.
They are so bad.
Offense is specifically, they are cheeks. Try the other quarterback.
Is this 0-12?
I mean, if something doesn't change here, something has to change. Change a quarterback, change like play caller, something. I don't know. Change something. Otherwise, yeah, this is like 0-12 is what we're staring down the barrel of for sure.
The only thing changing is the team total points every week, and I'll tell you what's not changing: me betting the unders.
Till the wheels fall off, baby. Till the wheels fall off. That boy, producer Scott.
As my great friend Andrew Alex pointed out this evening, when somebody tells you who they are, believe them, baby.
Believe
They are
them.
who they thought they were.
They are who we thought they were.
And we let them off the hook. BYU 27, Stanford 3.
Now for real games. Boston College. Man, oh man, you were close.
Yeah. Man, this is a tough loss for the Eagles. Michigan State 42, Boston College 40 in double overtime. Something that we didn't talk about in SMU Baylor, but that popped up again here. I just real quick, and I was listening to the Cover 3 live show from last night, a recap, and Bud mentioned this also, by the way, applies to Georgia Tech's loss to Georgia last year, just in case anyone listening to this is like going to get triggered driving around and, wasn't expecting that reference. When you so you get into an overtime situation here, right? Michigan State starts, they go in, they score a touchdown, they kick the extra point. Boston College gets the ball, they go in, they score a touchdown. If you extend the game into the second overtime and you score a touchdown, you're going to have to go for 2 anyways. Just use your good 2-point play in the first overtime and try to win the game there. Like, why are you trying to draw this out? I don't know. Boston College did it and they lost. SMU did it and they lost in double overtime earlier in the day. Georgia Tech did it, lost to Georgia last year, right? Like, that was the one thing that kind of stuck out to me was like, the way that the game had all gone, it was like, you need to be getting this game over with. You don't need to extend this out anymore. They kick the extra point, they go to double overtime, and, the rest is history.
Sometimes you just need to give it a shot, right? And
you might get criticized, but if you can back it up, I mean, look at Dan Lanning. He's done that the last couple of years. He's had losses where it's like, oh, you went for it on 4th down. Why'd you do that? It's like, I thought it was the right decision. It didn't work out, but own it.
Feel good about it. I'll do it again next time. And you're eventually going to have to go for 2 anyway. So why don't we just use our best 2-point play right now before we get into a game of grab ass, because that's what college football decided they wanted to do with their overtime rules.
Hashtag 2-point Palooza.
Shout out Quincy Patterson, Virginia Tech. Back from the glory days of Justin Fuente. Back when we were in 8 games a year. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad then. The 2-point Palooza thing is bullshit. I'm glad we're doing I'm glad this was an actual just 2-point conversion in double overtime. We didn't have to get to the 2-point shootout, which flip a coin.
Yeah. This loss sucks for Boston College. Bill Connolly put out the SP Plus post-game win expectancy here. Michigan State just came in just short of 25% to win this game. The stats say that Boston College should have won here, and there were opportunities to do so. Dylan Lonergan had a lot, was really good for most of this game. He had a lot of really good moments. He looks good. I think Boston College has something there with him, and that's going to pay some dividends this season. I mean, I was impressed with Boston College in a loss. I mean, you went into East Lansing, night game, the whole thing, and damn near won the game. Impressed. Yeah.
I'm impressed too. They still got to figure out. This is a theme tonight. They still got to figure out the running game.
Yeah, they do.
So get that going. I do think they've upgraded a quarterback.
Yeah.
Lonergan's better than both quarterbacks they ran out last year, Grayson James and Castellanos. So, yeah, this is an upgrade.
I keep finding myself thinking that when I think about Boston College, I always am probably in my mind underrating what they have from a skill talent standpoint. Like, I think team in the Northeast probably kind of light on skill talent that you would more expect in the Midwest or in the South. Boston College receivers look good in this game. Lewis Bond, Jeremiah Franklin, like both had good nights. VJ Wilkins had a 56-yard score, near score, excuse me, a long catch. Yeah, I was impressed by Boston College here. So we'll see what it turns into the rest of the season. This is a tough loss that just, by 2 points in double overtime, it still goes in the loss column. But we'll see what they're able to do. They got a tough schedule down the road. This would have been a nice one to have in their pocket as a win to kind of boost their record come bowl season.
Yeah, could be a tough one to look back on, certainly.
Do we have an early spread for next week when they go to the farm and play Stanford?
I can get you one real quick.
I got you. It's 10.5.
Oh my Lord.
Can I lock something up on a recap?
Can we lock something up on the recap? Oh my goodness. That's going to be a train wreck for Stanford.
Oh my God. Scott, I'm serious. I'm doing this. I'm doing this right now.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
To the surprise of nobody, we are laying them with the Eagles minus 10.5 at Stanford next Saturday night.
Spread should be like double that.
Oh, it's also a ACC after dark game. It's at 10:30 p.m. on 10:30 p.m.
Looking forward to podcasting with you both for the second half of that one.
Yeah. That is a lot of travel for 2 weeks for Boston College, for what that's worth, and a late weird body clock situation. So, but yeah, I will join you in locking that up. Yes,
wouldn't
please.
you rather be playing Stanford? Well, I don't know. I guess it's kind of a coin flip. Would you rather be playing like really late body clock time or really early body clock time? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, Michigan State 42, Boston College 40 in double overtime. Got a couple more interesting to discuss here.
You pick one.
Syracuse 27, UConn 20 in overtime. Man, speaking of fortunate to get away with a win here, Syracuse was chasing this game for, as we said, almost all of it. They scored with less than a minute to go to take the lead. Not pretty for most of this for Syracuse. And Fran Brown, very obviously not happy with what he saw from his team, as they were, running wind sprints in the stadium after the game, which, okay, like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was not pretty. And Syracuse, speaking of teams that can't really run the ball, I don't know. A win's a win. And you needed this one badly with what they've got coming up the rest of the season on the schedule. But, man, this was real to not ending up in your favor.
Thoughts about UConn? UConn on the road next week, play my hometown Blue Hens, 9.5 point spread, just for those looking ahead.
Roll hens.
They almost covered against Colorado. Lost it.
They did almost cover against Colorado.
Yeah.
They did. Sloppy from Syracuse. Just sloppy.
Couple turnovers.
You had a missed field goal. You had a turnover on downs in the first quarter. Just a sloppy game from Syracuse. They are very fortunate to come out on the other side of this. Steve Angeli made some big time throws in the second half in particular to get them back in it. He did throw an interception that could have been very costly, but ended up being okay. Running game, not great. Defensively, stopping the run. You gave a couple of explosives in the run game on defense.
Very fits and starts for the offense.
Yeah, I think Fran Brown has a right to be pretty ticked at how this game transpired for sure. Running wind sprints. I mean, how old are we? I don't know if this is the case at Syracuse, but like at this point, half the players make more than you do. Like, why are we running wind sprints?
Yeah. I don't. By the way, what's the point of running wind sprints, Mike? Do you remember why you would run that at the end of practice?
Punishment, usually.
Because I'm in trouble sometimes for conditioning.
I was always told it was, conditioning. You're tired. You're trying to build up your endurance, all that. This wasn't an endurance issue for Syracuse. They went 3 and out 4 times. They had multiple other drives that stalled out without getting a first down or, with a turnover or whatever. This was sloppy. Maybe it was a punishment. I thought that was more of a stadium stairs thing than wind sprints, but either way,
maybe the coaching staff should have them better ready to play against UConn. Maybe they should be running wind sprints.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm locking.
I don't know. There it is. Good timing for that, Scott. Thank you very much.
Nailed it. Anything else here, Mike?
No, I didn't have much. The Go ACC moment of the week is Fran Brown make his team run wind sprints like we're in the 4th grade and we're going to go have orange slices and Kool-Aid after it. Just a joke. What are we doing?
Give me that hug barrel. You know what I'm talking
Give me
about?
that hug barrel.
The
Yes,
barrel
sir.
juice.
Yes, sir. 75 grams of sugar. Load me up.
Syracuse 27, UConn 20 in overtime.
Oh,
I think kind of the last interesting one we had here. NC State 35, Virginia 31. Okay, where do I start here? Chandler. Okay, so yeah, there was a lot here. So again, this was very pointsy for a while. It was 24-14 at halftime. These teams come out, score a whole bunch, and then just don't score anything in the 4th quarter. Basically, come out at halftime.
Mhm.
Chandler Morris on that final drive of the game for Virginia is cooking. He is seeing the matrix. He is in the zone, and then all of a sudden throws a pass into the end zone to a receiver that wasn't open and doesn't throw it in the right spot either. And it's the easiest interception that you're ever going to see from NC State's defender. I mean,
yeah,
one of these where he decided where he was going to throw the ball before the play. I don't think that's exactly what happened there, but it's kind of what it looked like. And so again, some really high highs, some really low lows. And I kind of felt that way about CJ Bailey in this game too. CJ Bailey was okay in the first half, got really hot in the second half, and then just completely cratered for the final 3 drives for NC State. Could do very little. I don't know what to make of it. Just very inconsistent play from both of them on a certain level. Chandler Morris, I will say, arm talent, some of the throws that he made, a couple of the runs, very impressed at times. And other times I'm like, what are you doing? What was that?
He's got the arm talent in some cases, emphasis on in some cases, of a professional quarterback, a little bit gunslinger. But there's a reason why he's been in college for so long and he's still playing college football, right? It's because he makes the throws like he made at the end where he's rolling out to his right and he throws it to a receiver who's covered, not open, and forces it in there. Zero reason why that throw should have been made, especially considering some of the throws he made earlier in that drive to get UVA in position to go down and win the game. He made some big time throws, and then that one at the end, it's oh my God, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
That's it's going to be a frustrating one for UVA because this is a game that they led throughout and it got away from them a little bit in the 3rd quarter. And then you were in position to just get it back at the end and just be like, okay, we escaped. 3rd quarter could have been better. Let's clean that up. Yeah. But instead you're left with, okay, we looked like the better team in the first half and now we drove down with a chance to win the game and threw it to the wrong color jersey in a really, really dumb decision by Morris.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it should be frustrating. The positives for UVA, I think the offense is good.
Yeah.
The offense is definitely good.
It's the best offense under Elliott by far.
Through 2 games, they look really good. And I think a lot of that has to do with Chandler Morris being the best quarterback that you've had under Tony Elliott, for sure. Now, Calandria looks good at UNLV under Mullen. Mullen could make the 3 of us if he had to. He'd prefer not to. But if he had to, I think we could warm up the arm.
Oh, yeah.
Kick it out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think this is the best quarterback he's had. It's certainly the most experienced quarterback he's had. And I thought that was apparent for most of this game, except for the last throw. That was crazy. Don't do that again. Yep. Really, really frustrating. But yeah, I mean, they ran the ball well. obviously they ran it up on Coastal last weekend, and we're like, okay, that was a good start to the year. UVA looks better, 38-7 or whatever the final score was. Okay, looks better. And to do this to NC State and really have them in hell offensively, I think you have to be feeling pretty good about it. Now, defensively is another thing, right? So again, you played Coastal. It's like, okay, Coastal didn't do anything, but good chance they are ass. So let's see what we do against NC State. And you let Hollywood Smothers go for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, again, he had a 57-yard explosive in there, but he killed them in the running game. NC State as a whole rushed for over 200 yards in this game. They had 33 for 220 and 4 scores. Not going to get it done. Plus, like CJ Bailey, he was a little inconsistent, but you let him cook a little bit in the second half. And he ended up finishing with pretty efficient numbers. Could have been better, but he was 16-23 for 200 and a touchdown. That looks good in the box score, but if you watch this game, it could have been even better from CJ Bailey. Like, if I was off a little bit. So I think if you're UVA kind of heading into the back half of September, I think the concern is obviously like, don't replicate that defensive performance again, and then hope that you can continue what you're doing offensively. They've been really balanced through 2 weeks, which is good. I think they want to keep doing that and then take care of the football. But this looks like a bowl team easily to me. This, as far as like the middle tier teams in the ACC, I think Virginia's as good as any of them. And I think their fans should be feeling, I think, optimistic about the rest of the season, even though Saturday was really frustrating how it went down at the end.
I think both of these are bowl teams. I mean, both of them clearly have some firepower on offense. As you mentioned, Hollywood Smothers had a really good day, and especially in the second half when I was really getting a chance to watch. I mean, he ripped off a couple of long runs, but he was also kind of consistently getting traction in the run game there for a while. So if you can really maximize on that, I just have complicated thoughts on CJ Bailey. I feel like, I mean, a guy who it seems like depending on which drive it is, like every time he comes off the bench to go start a new series, you just don't really know which one you're going to get, because sometimes he looks excellent, and sometimes it's like he doesn't know what he's doing out there. It's weird. Like he quickly from one drive to the next goes from outstanding to not very good at all. And I felt like he took a couple of hits too late in this game, and it's like he's tall, but he is not all that thick. He can't be taking a bunch of punishment. Like, he's listed at 6'6", 210, which 210 sounds okay, but you spread it out over 6'6". Like, he's really not all that thick. He can't be taking punishment like he took on a couple of hits in this game. I worry a little bit about durability with him. I don't know. Complicated thoughts on CJ Bailey. Like, when he's good, he's really good. But, again, it's the consistency that you're seeking that we'll see kind of how that looks from a week-to-week standpoint. But, again, I think both these teams are pretty solid and, solidly bowl teams at the very least.
Solidly bowl teams. And by the way, non-conference game, so all of your conference goals are still in front of you.
Yeah. Good Lord, and Dennis. Producer Scott, can you read us that one?
And Dennis informs us that Chandler Morris was born in the year 2000, while CJ Bailey was born in the year 2006.
Why is Chandler Morris still playing college football? Oh, man. NC State 35, Virginia 31. You want to quickly go through the rest of these?
Yeah, that's pretty much it of the games that matter. Florida State 77, East Texas A&M 3. The one thing we didn't mention on the preview, Joey, and I think part of it is because you and I were pressed for time, is that Florida State had a freshman linebacker named Ethan Pritchard who was shot after the Notre Dame game in Florida.
Yeah.
He is in critical but stable condition. He is expected to be okay. The reason why I bring that up is, number one, thoughts and prayers. Number two, the Florida State players on Saturday in this game were wearing sweatbands with his Pritchard's number 35 on them. So I just want to note that. So thoughts and prayers to the family. With that said, Florida State beat that ass on Saturday. My God. Now,
biblical
was to be expected, but holy shit. This was a blowout.
I think it was 35-0 at the end of the first quarter or something.
It was 21-0 after one, and it was 49-0 at halftime.
Okay, yeah, something
And
like that.
And Thomas Castellanos had quite the stat line
Mm-hmm.
there.
Pretty good.
8 of 11 for 237 and 3 touchdowns.
All the same guy, right? He threw them all to the same receiver,
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Deuce Robinson.
Deuce Robinson at one point had 3 catches for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. He finished with 5 for 173. But yeah, at one point in the contest, it was 3 catches for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Castellanos was 3 for 3 for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. So yeah. The two of them were carving up what used to be Texas A&M Commerce, as we found out last week.
Yeah. Quick, just a real quick rundown of the Florida State drive chart.
Please.
Touchdown, 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 fumble, touchdown. So almost a perfect score here on offense for Florida State. They racked up 729 yards of offense.
Did Norvell have him running wind sprints for the fumble? Sorry.
Yeah, they do things a little differently in Tallahassee. I don't know.
Yeah.
They did cover the spread.
Yeah.
I'll say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah. Florida State 77, East Texas A&M 3.
Ooh.
Georgia Tech 59, Gardner-Webb 12. Really sloppy first quarter for Georgia Tech, who turned it over on their first 2 drives of the game again.
That's a trend. Yep.
I saw they put a stat up on the broadcast. It's not the only good part of the broadcast, by the way, but they put a stat up that they are the first team in at least 20 years to turn the ball over on their first 2 drives of their first 2 games of the season. So yeah, didn't love that. Aaron Philo got the start here. Haynes King was like kind of a just minutes before kickoff. They decided not to play him. I think he's got a little bit of a nagging lower body injury. They said, it could be an ankle or a knee or who knows. They decided to kind of rest him up, obviously with Clemson on deck. So Aaron Philo played. Seemed like it took him a minute to settle in, but once he did, they were very good on offense. Racked up a bunch of points, and as much as it was kind of not really all that fun for the first quarter, it was pretty much over by halftime. So that's fine. You'll take it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
must be
fine.
nice. Must be nice to be 2-0.
Or just one game. One win.
Yeah.
Have anything in the win column?
Yeah, anything really.
As a reminder, this recap brought to you by section103.com. Use promo code
Thank you.
GOACC for 10% off your first order. This is a rare show where I'm not wearing Section 103 because all my stuff is in the laundry because I've been wearing it all because it's great and it's comfortable and it looks fantastic. Hope you went and saw Steven at the game yesterday. He had a stand out there. Go check him out. What's been? Go ACC at checkout, 10% off your first order, section103.com. They got a whiteout this week against Clemson. Need something white for the game? Go get it, section103.com. We'll keep it moving.
Pitt 45, Central Michigan 17. Eli Holstein threw 4 touchdowns. I didn't watch a lick of this.
I did, and when Central Michigan is rotating not 1, not 2, but 3 quarterbacks throughout the game, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say there was a moment here, late third quarter, Central Michigan scores, and it's 24-17 Pitt. It's a little closer than you really want it to be late in the game, but then from there, Pitt drive chart, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. So really put it away from there. So you're good.
Step on throats.
That's right. Yeah, good performance from Pitt here. They cruise. Not the prettiest game performance in the run game once again, but
Theme.
Got it done.
We're all about themes on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one team that broke the trend of having trouble running the football. Wake Forest 42, Western Carolina 10. Damon Claiborne. We call this a get-right game.
Mm-hmm.
Remember last weekend when they won 10-9 against Kennesaw State and they really couldn't run? Damon Claiborne got banged up, left the game early.
Yeah, wasn't pretty.
Joey, he's healthy.
The dang ball got runned in this game.
10 carries, 193 yards, and 3 touchdowns for one Damon Claiborne. Yeah.
Speaking of wind sprints,
Speaking of wind sprints, winners get washed. Isn't that right?
Wake Forest washed.
I need like a bubble sound effect whenever we say that. Like
We'll add it. Add to the rotation.
There you go.
SpongeBob bubble when they go down.
You know what Wake Forest did that Virginia Tech should have done?
Won the game.
Schedule Kennesaw State and Western Carolina. But yes, won the game.
Yeah. A little bit of an easier on-ramp when that's who you're playing instead of, middle-of-the-road SEC teams. But who's counting?
They're playing
Wake's-
enough middle-of-the-road
Wake's,
ACC teams. Yeah. It's just
Wake's
crazy.
hosting NC State on Thursday night. This will be a step up for sure.
What's the spread there? I'm not ruining our preview. I'm just curious.
I tell you.
I was going to ask, but I also realized we're an hour and 20 into this. We probably need to. But I am also curious.
To NC State, 7.5. NC State.
I think.
I'm not locking it up yet.
Talk to you on the preview.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it on the preview. Wake 42, Western Carolina 10.
There was a first for everything. I was proud that we laid in with BC.
Yeah.
Cal 35, Texas Southern 3. A little bit sloppier from my boy Sagapalatelli in this one.
10 out of 10.
I'm improving with this.
And or my ratings are a random number generator. Who's to say?
Kendrick Raphael, 18 for 131 in this one. Ran the damn ball, baby.
Yep. Yeah, a couple first half turnovers from Cal kind of kept this uncomfortably close. It was 11-3 at halftime. They were able to, pull away after halftime. So good for the Bears. Got it done.
Last one. Congratulations,
for
Bill
last.
Belichick. Congratulations.
On the board.
You did it. You're on the board. Carolina 20, Charlotte 3. It's after midnight Eastern time, so bear with me.
Yeah.
From what I saw out of this game, a lot of the same for Carolina offensively. Very inconsistent. I think that's going to be a theme. It was Gio Lopez under center again for Carolina. No Max Johnson. Lopez looked better, but it was Charlotte. And yeah, Carolina was rotating running backs. A lot of guys got a lot of carries. They did run the ball relatively effectively in this game, but again, it is Charlotte. We saw Grayson Loftus. That's an ACC name, right?
Was
that
Boston College?
Is that form? No, that was Grayson James. Was Grayson Loftus? Was he at Wake?
Don't mind us as we just remember some dudes here. He was at Duke. The Duke transfer.
He was at Duke.
2 seasons.
He threw for 1,000 yards for Duke in 2023.
That was a name that rang a bell to me. So,
Yep.
Anyway.
That's a guy.
he was Daniel Jones's, not Daniel Jones. Oh my God. He was
Hey, good day for Daniel
Leonard.
Jones.
Riley Leonard.
Leonard. Yeah. It was a good day for Daniel Jones. Some really good work, by the way, by the board operator in this game. Lots of trolling of North Carolina fans. They had the Gold Digger kiss cam, and I saw a lot of stuff where they were showing North Carolina fans that had, it was like, oh, Eastern Carolina graduate and App State grad, and like a lot of good trolling. Credit to them.
Yeah.
Nuke
Still
jacket
can't
on
score more.
with the comment. Still can't score more than Jordan's age.
Yep. That's kind of my only takeaway here, by the way, is it's good to win a game, and it's good to win a game by 3 scores.
Cover.
Couldn't be us.
But it's Charlotte, and this is about as unimpressive as you could accomplish that against a team like Charlotte.
It's first year Tim Albin. This is the worst that Charlotte's going to be.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a read on how good the Richmond Spiders might be in the FCS this year? They're taking a stroll down the Chapel Hill next week.
Ruh-roh. Hang on.
Curious.
Bill C. It's going to take a minute to find this. I don't think that I think they used to be better.
All right, no worries.
I'm going to go with used to be better. Might be able to find it. Hang on. It's not. No, not here. We'll figure it out. We'll get there.
You got 2 ACC After Dark games next week. My lord.
Oh yeah. Excited. Can't wait. I think that's all we got.
Does Carolina make a bowl game, you guys think?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Hang on. Let me look.
So bad.
I was gonna say, let me look at the schedule again. Oh, that might be a win. That might be a win. Oh, yeah, they might be going to a bowl game.
Yeah. You have Stanford and Wake and Richmond and
Cal.
UCF.
And Cal.
Schedule's ridiculous. Oh,
And
by the
Cal.
way, Bill Belichick got out in front of it, banning Patriots scouts from the facility, specifically Patriots scouts. And when pressed on it, he told people that, well, if I'm not welcome there, then they're not welcome here. Dude, grow up.
Dave Chappelle, baby, because fuck them. That's why.
My goodness, this whole thing just feels just embarrassing for North Carolina fans. I don't want to speak for you if you're a Carolina fan listening to this and you think that this is super cool. Please let me know. B, good. But if I were you, I would not think this was super cool and good. Like, this is, oh my goodness, this is kind of a mess. So anyways,
just focus on
quickly.
focus on the football, Bill. Everyone just focus on the football.
just focus on the football. Let's do some awards, Mike. The Go ACC moment of the week.
It was the wind sprints from Fran Brown. I don't know. I mean, there were a couple other candidates, but that is the one.
Just peak ACC nonsense. Absolutely. Go ACC to that, Fran Brown and Syracuse. We had a lot of candidates. Kobe Bryant Memorial Volume Shooter of the Week.
We did. It could be several different rushing games.
It really, yeah. Not a lot of good running the ball in this conference this week. Stanford.
Dennis had a comment in the section for this award nominee. Syracuse is at 73 carries for 147 yards total this year. Kobe.
About 2 yards per carry. Not good.
Yeah. Once again, Stanford running backs, Micah Ford, Tuna Altair, 18 carries for 41 yards. Nice. Real nice. Hokies in the second half on offense.
I don't even.
Yeah,
know
that's
Kobe.
good for
He's
it. That's
downright
good for the
sucked.
You Tried award. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go there. Brian Van Gorder Memorial, you tried award.
Yep. Goes to Virginia Tech's offense. It was
I don't know
awful.
if they did try in the second half, honestly. It's up 10 at halftime and going 34-0 in the second half. Just ouch.
Yeah.
Also
How about
underlying
the?
story there that they scored 2 touchdowns in the first half off turnovers,
Mm-hmm.
resulting in short fields. So if you don't really have that, then it might be worse.
Yeah.
The Queen Elizabeth II Memorial You Died Award.
Brent Pry.
Even better. I was just gonna say Virginia Tech, but Brent Pry's a good one. I mean,
Yeah.
this tenure is DOA. DOA.
That might
done.
be, we might be done there. Not good.
Done.
What else we got? Anything else?
Team of the week.
Team of the week. Who do we feel good about this week? NC State?
A comeback win for NC State. I think
Yeah.
it's the Wolfpack. It's
Maybe
actually
Syracuse.
sure. Oh, thumbs up. Okay, sounds good. It was not a particularly good week for the ACC.
Yeah. Not a lot of great showings. Plenty of near misses. We'll give you that, but
Yeah.
not the best.
Yeah. Player of the week for me is Damon Claiborne. I mean,
Mhm.
10 for 193 and a touchdown. He's my player of the week.
I kind of want to give Dylan Lonergan some credit, man. They damn near won that game. They played really well, I thought. Credit to him for sure.
Real quick before we close, 30 seconds. What's the grade on the ACC through 2 weeks? Up and down, out of conference isn't great.
Yeah, it's weird because like I felt really good about it in week 1, and now in week 2, it's like you had chances and got losses, and I don't know.
B.
I will say so let me say this: the bottom of the conference about as bad as I think we've seen it in almost the whole time we've been doing this podcast. Like,
at least
it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
The top of the conference, definitely not really how we thought that was going to turn out so far. I think Miami and Florida State better than I expected. Clemson not as good as expected.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a healthy upper third or so of the conference that might be pretty solid on the national stage, ranked level and all that. So yeah, I think a B is a good grade. Definitely, some disappointments, but also some impressive things we've seen so far. So I like what I saw from Boston College. Virginia, I think, is kind of on arrow pointing up right now. There's a couple teams like Louisville, like if they can kind of get it into gear. The defense is obviously there. We'll see what if the offense can kind of settle in. Yeah. So yeah, I'll go B. I think that's a good grade.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
ACC Player of the Week, honorable mention, Hollywood Smothers. Good game for NC State.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Excellent.
Yep. Mike, Scott, that's all I got. Anything else?
Bowling Green lost.
Damn.
Delaware lost.
Oh, can't have that. Delaware first year team and FBS. That'll happen.
I had him. They had to cover.
Let's monitor Stanford practice this week, shall we?
Let's see how that goes. Yeah. We will. We'll get to that. We're gonna come back. We're gonna preview week 3. We got an interesting slate. I love that interesting word. Clearly, we got a Thursday game, we got a Friday game, and we got a bunch of Saturday action. We got some conference games starting up here just a little bit. We got the backyard brawl next week. Got a lot of good things. So, what's that?
ACC After Dark.
ACC After Dark. Duke's at Tulane. See how that goes.
ODU open, catching 11.5. That's down to just outside a touchdown. So feeling swell.
Got bet down quick.
About that game in Blacksburg.
Miami on the CW. Couldn't get weird.
Yeah, that should be exciting after how South Florida started the year. So
CW underdogs.
A lot of good stuff. We're going to come back and preview those probably Wednesday night, but keep it tuned here. We'll let you know. YouTube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all the places you go find your audio podcast. Twitch.tv/basketball conference if you want to. We would appreciate that. Lots of good stuff. Keep it tuned here, and we'll keep you updated and informed, quote unquote, and hopefully entertained as the season goes on.
Do it every week.
We have to. It's our job. If we don't do it, who's going to? We got to do it.
We got to.
We got to. All right. Let's get out of here. Shout out to the people in the chat. Appreciate you joining us here on a Sunday night. We will talk to you all again very, very soon. But until next time, for Mr. Mike McDaniel, Mr. Producer Scott, I am Joey Weaver. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Until then, go ACC.